Hey everyone, it's Miss Wisman again with your next video for Unit 9. For this video, I'm going to be on page 1 of the Unit 9 notes. If you have those, you can follow along. I'm going to be doing examples 2 and 3 on page 1 of Unit 9. So my instructions here are saying, let's find the center and radius of each circle whose equation is given, and then we're going to graph it using 4 points. So for number 2, I've been given the equation of my circle. X minus 3 squared plus y plus 4 squared equals 16. Remember that x and y were points on my circle, and that this 3 and 4 are talking about the center of my circle. Here's the crazy thing. When I'm finding the center of my circle, this negative 3 is going to change signs and become a positive 3. This positive 4 is going to change signs and it's going to become a negative 4. When you find the center, you're going to have to change the signs. Okay? So if it starts as a negative 3, it becomes a positive 3. If it starts as a positive 4, it becomes a negative 4. The signs change. Okay? Be careful. Number 1 mistake right there. Change the signs for the center of your circle. Then let's talk about radius. What I know from my previous video is in my equation, the radius is squared. So when I look at the 16 right here, that has been squared, right? There's no 2 up here, nothing. This has been squared. So how do I get rid of something that's been squared? How do I undo a square? I use a square root. So I'm going to take the square root of 16 to find my radius. That would be 4. So my radius here is 4. Because if I were to plug it into my equation, 4 squared is 16. So I now know the center for my circle and I know the radius of my circle. I can begin to graph it. I'm going to start by plotting the center of my circle. It was at 3, negative 4. There's the center of my circle. And now I'm going to use my radius to figure out where some other points on my circle are. My radius is the distance from the center to the edge of my circle. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4 and put a point. I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4 and put a point. I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4 and put a point. 1, 2, 3, 4 and put a point. There is my circle. I don't care. That's obviously not a good circle. You can't freehand a circle. It doesn't matter. Here's the center. I've counted out my radius to be 4. So there-ish is my circle. If I could draw a perfect circle, then it would look much better. But doesn't matter. Let's look at number 3. In number 3, the equation for my circle is x squared plus y plus 3 squared equals 9. I'm going to start by finding the center for my circle. The problem is there's nothing next to this x. Well, if there's nothing there, that's a 0. Then I've got a y plus 3, and what I have to remember is that my sign changes. So instead of positive 3, it's a negative 3. Don't forget to change the sign. Okay, so 0, negative 3 is the center for this circle. Also remember that when I've got my 9 over here, that's been squared. And so to undo that square, I need to take the square root of 9, which is 3. So my radius is 3. Now let's graph the center for the circle. So 0, 1, 2, 3. Here's the center. And then I'm going to use my radius to plot the other points. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. There's my other circle. Now you're going to, on the next couple slides, do just a couple questions that talk about finding the center when you've given the equation, finding the radius when you've been given the equation. So go ahead and try some of those problems.